In most games with a leveling system, the higher you level, the stronger you are. This is not the case in Warframe. In order to increase your strength and survivability, you have to use the modding system in your arsenal. Here, you can change your equipment, change your appearance, check your Warframe's abilities, and most importantly, apply mods to your weapons and frames. Each mod is like a card, detailing their stats, their category type, their rank, their polarity type, and their capacity drain. You can equip many combinations of mods on your frames and weapons, but you are limited by the amount of capacity your equipment has. With an unranked weapon or frame, your starting capacity is determined by your personal mastery rank. If you are a new player, your personal mastery rank will start at 0, meaning your weapons and frames will have a starting capacity of 0. Someone who has a personal mastery rank of 27 will indicate that unranked equipment will have a starting capacity of 27. This is only for fresh unranked equipment though, and your personal mastery rank is not an indication of how strong you are in the game, nor will it always limit your mod capacity. As you take your weapons and frames into missions, you will gain experience points, also known as affinity, towards your equipment. With the more affinity gained, the more your equipment rank goes up. You can see your progress increasing after almost every mission. When you go to upgrade your equipment, that particular weapon or frame's rank can be seen underneath. Your equipment rank is reflective of the amount of capacity you have for that specific equipment. For most weapons and frames, the max rank they can achieve is rank 30, giving you a base mod capacity of 30. When we put our unranked serration mod on our primary weapon, it drains our weapon's capacity down by 4, indicated by its number in the top right. If your equipment has a polarity mod slot, indicated by these icons, and your mod matches this icon, you can put them on their matching spot and that will half the mod's drain capacity. If you put them in an unmatching polarity mod slot, that will increase the mod's drain capacity. Try to avoid this unless you have the capacity space to waste. In the beginning, it is tempting to put on as many mods as you can to fill out each mod slot. This is okay to start, but when you find it harder to kill enemies and survive, I recommend focusing on upgrading mods as much as you can that increase your raw damage or that increase your survivability for your frame. For a new player, I recommend focusing on upgrading your damage mods for each of your weapons as much as you can. Each weapon has specific damage types that make up its total damage. That could be impact, puncture, slash, or a combination of each resulting in their total damage. Using serration as an example, we can see this unranked mod increases our weapon's total damage type by 15%. We can upgrade the percentage of damage this mod applies by upgrading it through the fusion process. I recommend not upgrading flawed versions of mods, as unflawed versions will always be stronger than their flawed versions. To increase a mod's rank, equip it on your weapon like so, go down to mods, which will show you what mods you currently have equipped on your equipment. Click the mod you want to upgrade, click on Fusion, and then hit the plus button to increase this mod's rank. Increasing a mod's rank costs Endo and credits. With each succeeding rank, it increases the amount of Endo and credits you need to upgrade a mod. Upgrading this mod's rank increases the total percentage of damage this mod applies to your weapon, but it also increases the drain amount that will occupy your weapon's capacity. A fully ranked serration mod will have a drain number of 14. We can see that this now occupies 14 capacity slots, lowering our weapon's capacity from 30 to 16. Remember, matching a mod's polarity halves its drain usage, giving us more flexibility with our capacity to put more mods. You can further utilize and increase your equipment's mod capacity by doing two things. By going down to Action, you can apply a Forma or an Orokin Catalyst or Reactor to your max-ranked equipment. Applying Forma to your equipment polarizes a mod slot of your choice, allowing you to match mods to that specific icon having their drain capacity. Keep in mind that you can only apply Forma to maxed rank equipment. If you decide to apply Forma to your equipment, it will reset its rank, requiring you to level it up again. Forma blueprints can mainly be acquired by opening up Void Relics on Void Fissure missions. Void Fissure missions can be accessed by heading to your navigation console and clicking on the top right Void Fissures. A lot of these relics have a chance to drop Forma blueprints, which can be built in your foundry. You will receive many relics just by playing through the game and finishing the star chart. Orokin Catalyst and Reactors double your equipment's mod capacity. These are also referred to by the Warframe community as potatoes. Catalysts double your weapons mod capacity. Reactors double your frames mod capacity. Orokin potatoes are a little harder to obtain than Forma. Potatoes are obtained by doing daily and weekly Nightwave acts. These acts can be seen at the Nightwave console, showing you challenges that once completed give you reputation points. Every 10,000 points, you will receive a reward tier with some of them being Nora's credits. These credits can be spent on many cred offerings, but most importantly, fully built Orokin potatoes. I recommend only using Forma and potatoes on equipment you either really enjoy or you know you will be using for a long time. Don't use any of these items on any of the weapons you start the game with, as they are not very powerful. It is always a good rule of thumb to focus on upgrading and acquiring more powerful mods before you consider applying Forma or potatoes to your equipment. Keep in mind that frames and melee weapons have one additional mod slot that, when equipped, increases their equipment's mod capacity. If you have aura mods for your frames, which are mods that not only benefit you, but your teammates, you can equip them in your aura mod slot, which increases your frame's total mod capacity. Matching the polarity to the aura slot provides the maximum capacity. Placing a different polarity to your aura mod slot also provides additional capacity, but a lesser amount than the matching one. The higher the rank of the aura mod will increase your equipment's capacity even further. The same principle applies to melee weapons with stance mods. Stance mods change the attack style for a given melee weapon. The additional capacity is the same process as aura mods on your frames. If you are still struggling to kill higher level enemies, it might be time to start using elemental mods and modding specifically for certain weapons. Generally, all weapons fall into 3 categories: critical chance weapons, status weapons, and hybrid weapons that balance both critical and status damage types. Generally, if a weapon is higher in critical chance, it is a critical weapon, and they would benefit from critical chance and damage mods. If it is higher in status, it is a status-based weapon, and it will benefit more from status and elemental mods. If it is a hybrid weapon, it will benefit from a mix of critical and status mods. In the beginning though, it is most effective to focus on elemental mods for all of your weapons. All enemies in the game are weak to specific elemental types. The enemy types you will face as you progress through the star chart are Grineer, Corpus, and Infested. Heat, electricity, toxin, and cold can all be used individually on your weapons to give your weapons an elemental type, but these elements can also be combined to create different elemental types like blast, corrosive, gas, magnetic, radiation, and viral. Currently the meta, or what most people use, is viral and slash status effects. As viral is effective against most enemy types in the game, and slash causes damage over time. There is a handy article on the Warframe Wiki that breaks down enemies' armor types and weaknesses. Don't be afraid to consult the Warframe Wiki whenever you have questions, as it will become your best friend in your Warframe career. The wiki can show you where to farm resources, how to get different components for different frames and weapons, and even how to get more powerful mods. For new players, if you're still struggling to progress through the star chart, here are some quick tips and recommendations for weapons and frames you should try getting during the early progression of the game. Each of these weapons blueprints can be bought from the Warframe marketplace with credits. Buy the Bolter, which requires a personal mastery rank of 2 for a decent rifle. Buy the Heck, which requires a personal mastery rank of 4 for a decent shotgun. Buy the MK1 Furus, which requires a personal mastery rank of 0 for a decent secondary. Buy the Eclex, which requires a personal mastery rank of 4 for a decent secondary. Buy the Orthos, which requires a personal mastery rank of 2 for a decent melee. Or the Guando, which requires a personal mastery rank of 4 for a decent melee. For one of the best frames you can get early on that will help you with survivability is Rhino. Rhino's main blueprint can be bought from the Warframe marketplace, and his components, the neuroptics, the chassis, and the systems, can be acquired by running the assassination mission Fossa on Venus. It might take a couple of runs to get each component, but the drop rate is decent. Just shoot the legs, use your Parazon when prompted, and avoid the lasers. Rhino's second ability gives him additional armor that protects you from all damage. Equip strength mods like Intensify to increase this ability's armor amount. For farming Endo and credits to upgrade your mods, you will naturally acquire large amounts of both resources just by playing through the star chart. Additionally, you will gain many duplicates of mods you already own. You can see all the mods you own in the mod segment on your ship. You can sort through these mods by duplicates, and you can select as many of them as you wish and dissolve them for additional Endo. I say never sell your mods for credits, as it is way easier to get credits just by playing through the game than it is to get Endo. I also recommend keeping at least one of every mod, just in case you want to use them in the future. It would be a waste of time to dissolve them just to have to acquire them again. If you are further along in the game with a wide variety of mods, there is a great website called overframe.gg. This site has builds for just about every frame and weapon in the game. These builds are in no way the meta for every piece of equipment in the game, but can be used as a guide for how to generally mod your piece of equipment. I hope this video helped you understand a little bit better how modding and capacity works in Warframe. This game can be extremely daunting and confusing for new players, but if you spend the time to learn it and are patient enough, this game can be extremely rewarding. If you have other questions or recommendations for guides, please leave a comment on this video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe, like the video, share it with other new players, and join me on Twitch, live every Thursday and Sunday, where I can try and answer some of your questions live. Thanks for watching, and best of luck on your Warframe career.